So I just helped a client that she was a victim of a real estate agent misleading her to signing some paperwork. So this lady, she was about 87 years old, wife of a veteran that died in the war, and the son as well. The son is alive, but he also was in the military. A real estate agent hooked her up with, well, was trying to sell her a home, and she didn't have enough money to buy the home, and he kept pushing and pushing and pushing, and he said he'll even get somebody to help pay for her down payment. Well, the down payment came through somebody that was called an investor, but it's almost like a loan shark. Well, she gave up some jewelry as collateral for this person, and then instead of, and she made payments and things like that, this person ended up keeping the jewelry, which is a family heirloom from her husband. As you remember, he passed away in the war, in Vietnam War, and then they basically refinanced she was going through some financial issues, and they led her to believe that they were just working with her as far as the payments go. What they ended up doing was that they ended up putting the house, basically did a deed in lieu of foreclosure. So they ended up putting the home to the investor, and the investor basically became the new owner of the house, and then they leased the house back to the lady for $1,200 a month. Here she was only paying, a couple $100 a month, and she was going through some financial troubles. And then instead of working with her as far as on the mortgage side, as it was her house, they had her sign all these other papers that basically took the name of the property, they put it into the other person's name, and she didn't know this whole. And then she came to me asking, I keep paying my mortgage payments, and it's not reducing my balance. And as I reviewed the documentation, it showed that she actually gave the home to the investor without knowing that she gave the home to the investor back in 2013. And then they had a subsequent lease attached to that now he's leasing the home back to the lady. So be very, very careful. The lesson here is, don't let your real estate agent be your attorney. And because they, whether it was intentional or not, the real estate agent can't understand legal terms, contracts, things like that. They're not supposed to interpret them for you. In this scenario, the real estate agent told her something completely different, so this was a little bit material misrepresentation. But you should always have an attorney or somebody look at these paperwork, because it could be detrimental to you later on. Now this individual is 91 years old, and she's getting kicked out of her own home that she thought it was her actual home. And so just beware, buyer beware. And even though the agent may seem like a great person, still have a third party review the documentation that has no financial incentive for the property. That way you're not going to be taken advantage of. So just want to share the story. I like to share stories whenever I know that I can impact a larger number of people, and this is one of those stories that I know that will impact somebody's life. If you guys have any questions or you need any help, as you guys know, I'm an attorney. I'm also a real estate broker, associate. I'm here for you. Feel free to ask. Send me a message. Thanks.